Welcome back. For many people, that first cup of coffee is needed to start their day. Our next guest wrote an entire book, the Coffeeist Manifesto, about his love for coffee. Stephen Ward is here to share with us some simple ways to improve your daily cup of java. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, what makes you a coffee expert?
Well, for the past 4 or 5 years, I've been steeping myself in the coffee industry, reading every book I could get a hold of, academic articles related to coffee, growing coffee, going to trade fairs, barista competitions, all that kind of stuff.
And drinking a lot of coffee.
And of course, drinking a lot of coffee.
How much coffee do you usually drink a day?
Not as much as you might expect. A couple of cups. 2, maybe 3. Some days I don't drink any, actually.
Okay, so what's the most important thing for those folks that are drinking 1, 2, or more than you, like 5 cups of coffee a day, to have that perfect cup?
Well, the first thing anybody can do to make sure they're getting, the best cup of coffee they can is to make sure you're getting freshly roasted coffee beans. And so I brought some example bags of coffee beans here to show you how you can do that. When you're choosing your coffee beans at the coffee shop or grocery store or whatever, you really want to find the roasting date, not an expiration date.
Okay.
A lot of, sort of the bigger coffee companies will put expiration dates, but that's almost meaningless, really. What you really want is a roasting date, which you can see here. It was January 1st on this bag of Benetti's, and here was January 13th on this bag from Oddly Correct.
So how close should you be to that roasting date?
Well, within about a month. Well, actually, the coffee starts to lose its taste after about a month.
Oh.
And that's important because if you're buying your coffee beans at a grocery store, you have to, that's fine. And in fact, of these, the roastery here is the only one that I believe you can find in area grocery stores. These are all Kansas City
We love to support our Kansas City companies, right?
Right.
Okay, so are expensive beans better than the less expensive ones?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, you can buy a $30 bag of coffee beans, but if it's a month old, it's probably not going to be as good as one of these that were roasted 2 days ago.
Well, again, another reason to buy local.
Right.
Okay, so what should folks be looking at on the label in terms of, what's in there?
Well, finding the roasting date is, of course, the first thing, and it can be kind of small, as you see here. In the case of these roastery beans, it's actually on the back.
Okay.
Aside from that, you'll see there's a lot of information here. You have the origin, and you have, of course, the company name. And in the case of the roastery, you have the blend, the breakfast blend here. And all that means is that somebody at this company, an expert taster, has put together some different types of beans into one, batch that they think tastes good at breakfast. So they call it their breakfast blend.
What do you think the best beans are that give you that pick-me-up in the morning?
Well, anything with a medium or light roast, because caffeine actually burns away during the roasting process. So if you're drinking a really dark roasted cup of coffee, it has less caffeine than, say this breakfast blend, which is pretty light, actually.
What about folks that are trying to count calories as we are still trying to stick to our New Year's resolutions? What about them?
I tell people that are, dieting, just avoid additives. Don't be putting milk and sugar in your coffee. Black coffee has 0 calories. And in fact, the caffeine, a lot of people say, has a thermogenic effect and can help you with your weight loss goals.
So there are benefits to drinking coffee.
Yes, there
Just
are.
don't pour a bunch of cream and sugar and all the other, sweet stuff that make it taste so yummy.
Right, and syrups and all that.
Syrups. All right. Okay, well, again, the book is The Coffeeist, what is it again?
Coffeeist Manifesto.
The Coffeeist Manifesto. Thank you for stopping by the show. We appreciate it. Let's go grab a cup of coffee after this, right? Sound good? All right.